Traffic Live has a concept of both quotes and jobs. I can either start a quote and turn that into a job, or I can start a job and turn that back into a quote. Or alternatively, I could disable quotes and just have jobs running through the system. If I had a quote, what it will do is it will show me a quote, and then I can either convert that quote to a job, or alternatively, what I can do is create a job and then turn that back into a quote at a later stage. Let's just quickly turn this quote into a job. If I'm putting a quote into a job, what it will do is it will take all of the details through and then divide it out into time, purchases and expenses. If I'm linking in with an ERP package, we can turn those tabs off. So here I can see the time that we've got. Traffic Live's a true project management system, so I can also add in any milestones. So our times recorded is time, I work an hour, I charge an hour, fee, a set number of hours for a rate, or alternatively some milestones. Just going to quickly add 2 milestones here. Everything's all drag and drop, so what I can do is just reorder this in the project plan order, just by simply dragging and dropping. I've also got a concept of the number of hours to a quote. If I hadn't created a quote, I could go backwards from a job and turn that back into a job. To a quote. I can also import from Microsoft Project. I could import all of this detail from a Microsoft Project plan. If I'm happy with all of this, I can take this through and produce a Gantt chart schedule. I've got a concept of hours here for the job, and I've got a concept of hours into the studio. Now let's quickly take that through and put together our schedule. Now Traffic Live is very skillful in scheduling, and basically what it does, it pulls together an overall Gantt chart view, and I can see here, this is showing my individual stages here, and my tasks and my milestones, all sitting on my internal and external deadline. I can schedule that backwards from my deadline date, or alternatively, if I wanted to, I can even change and split both my internal and my external deadline. So for this job, I've got an external deadline date that's due at the end of June, but I'm going to tell the team internally that we're going to need that on the Tuesday. So I've got a little bit of time up my sleeve to plan for that. We now take that into our schedule view. I can simply auto-schedule that backwards from our deadline date. And I'm just going to drag some of this around. Alternatively, some of these stages, I'm going to populate them around here. So here I'm building my time plan. Now the clever thing about Traffic Live is all of this links into the real-time availability of resource. So if I click on staff allocation, it's going to show me in availability order, the least available person is Zaza Zebra and the most available person is Peppa Pig. Alternatively, we know that research is completed by a suitable person, an account manager, and here I can see the available resource. And the best person for this research would be Susie Sheep. She's the most available to work on this task. I can double click and now you can see it's allocated 8 hours to Susie Sheep. And I can see in that time period. So what Traffic Live does is it brings together the timing plan and the available resource. So this is defaulted to be a block of 8 hours. This functional spec is 35 hours, and I may want to move it. If I dragged this to start on a weekend, it would snap to say it's going to start on a Monday and take the whole week. And what I could do is I could then put some resource on that, or alternatively, I might want to just move that around. All the time while I'm moving it, it's showing in real time my availability of the team. And here, the most available person for this is Wendy Wolf. I'm going to get Wendy to do 20 hours of my functional spec. And now it's allocated Wendy for 20 hours. I might get the final 15 hours to be done by Emily, and I can see that here, that it's now showing with Emily and with Wendy. As you can see here, Emily and Wendy, and this is the time areas. So I might want Wendy to work on it first and then Emily to work on it. So I can split those two. This has gone red because I'm allocating for somebody to work on it outside the deadline date. So I could just extend the time that we have available for this. So Traffic Live, you can bring in a Microsoft project plan, but of course you can move around that project plan taking into consideration the real-time resource available. Now I'm putting this into an approved workflow. What I could do is typical what would happen in a larger agency is this would be coming in as a pending request from the account manager or the project manager when they're putting together their request for resource. And in this instance, I've got Wendy working on it on the 18th of the 6th. Let's go and have a quick look at Wendy's calendar and we can see what the resourcer can see. I could put this into draft and put together my resource allocation plan, and then when the client goes forward with it, I can turn that into active and it will start to show in the resources view. And then I would see this time on the 18th. Let's go and have a quick look at that. So let's have a quick look at what we're seeing for Wendy. And if we have a look very nicely at the staff schedule, and what we want to do is have a look at what Wendy's doing and also Peppa Pig. So now I'm able to see their views and I want to have a quick look at it, and I'm going to have a quick look at it for the 18th. So here is the Coca-Cola Pearl rebrand that we saw. If I'm a resourcer, I could have been sitting here and I could have been having a look here at showing me all currently pending allocations. So these are showing me any pending allocations which have currently not been allocated to anything. Of course, I can see this one here. This is the Pearl rebrand I'm seeing. Now, if I'm happy with that, what I can simply do is I could simply just click on that as the resourcer and I could approve that view. Alternatively, if I wanted to, I could approve individual views. So what I might want to do is say I can approve some components of it and not all of it. And that's a quick look at my overall scheduling views.